Hello, my freaky darlings. Welcome back. This week, I'm exploring a haunted ghost town in the United Arab Emirates called Jazirat Al Hamra. This creepy little place is located just to the south of the city of Ras Al Khaimah and is an old abandoned seaside village. Its name translates to the Red Island. It was once an uninhabited tidal island until members of the Arab seafaring and pearl diving tribe, the Zab, set up a modest pearl diving village in the early 1800s. It started off rather small, just a couple of ramshackle huts, but by the 20th century around 2,500 people lived there, with a fleet of over 25 pearl diving boats, and was considered an important pearl trading centre in the region. In its heyday, it was a bustling seaport, but it went into decline in the 1920s with the crash of the pearl trade, largely due to the advent of cultured pearls. An exodus of people in 1968 to the city of Abu Dhabi, thanks to oil money, left it a lifeless ghost town. After that, it accrued a reputation as a mysterious and haunted place, and a haunt for the ancient spirits known as the jinn. What's also rather interesting is that it's abandoned and empty, but surrounded by numerous resort towns, hotels, and shopping malls. Now, apparently, many of the visitors to the nearby resorts aren't even aware that just a stone's throw away, this forgotten place, trapped in time, exists, with around 400 buildings, including mosques, merchant shops, a dilapidated fort and old watchtowers, as well as residential dwellings. Many of the coral and mud buildings still with furniture and possessions laid out as if waiting for the previous inhabitants to return, but who never will. People have long reported a variety of strange phenomena from this particular little town, ranging from the innocuous to the terrifying. A common occurrence is the rather creepy feeling of being watched from the shadows, or the sense that someone is standing right there when there is nothing but shadows. There are also reports of mysterious lights within the houses or of shadow figures lurking about. There are even reports of cats that cross the street, only to vanish into thin air. There are also roving cold spots and a sudden feeling of extreme panic and dread that seem to come from nowhere. But the most popular are the stories that it is haunted by the ancient jinn. The jinn are supernatural creatures from early pre-Islamic and Arabian and later Islamic mythology and theology that are also known as genies. Now, these aren't the cute Disney genies from Aladdin. They are often seen as powerful, supernatural beings similar to demons, and are mostly depicted as rather malevolent, or they are technically not innately good or evil. While local law on these beings varies greatly from region to region, they are very often described as tricksters and seen as responsible for misfortune and disease, as well as possessing humans and having the power to shapeshift into a wide variety of animal forms. The jinn are still widely believed in by locals in many Middle Eastern countries, and one place where they are said to be very active is at Jazirat Al Hamra. According to the tales, those who used to dive for pearls at Jazirat Al Hamra, it was not uncommon for divers to be knocked unconscious by the jinn, after which the others would recite prayers while the victim was hauled to shore. On other occasions, a diver would be possessed by a jinn, answering questions in a high, reedy woman's voice. Other stories are that the jinn would take the form of talking animals, such as goats or cats, with animals sometimes transforming into different forms right before their very eyes. On other occasions, they were said to chase people or try to steal from them. They would also appear out on the water or under it. Well, how otherwise are they going to knock divers out, right? Hello. Locals rarely seem to want to talk about the jinn, hesitant to tell these stories to outsiders, but their tales have still gotten out, so that Jazirat Al Hamra is considered by many to be a prime haunt for the jinn. Sadly, with the advent of modern times and the surrounding construction, and the use of cars and modern technology, it's caused the jinn to move on and abandon the town, just as the people who once lived there. Apparently, there have been some efforts to restore the village and turn it into a cultural heritage site and a tourist landmark. So if there are jinns still there, they may not be so for long, which is actually kind of depressing. I quite like the idea of this little hideaway where a mythical creature can make its home away from the noisy humanity. A little resort town for demons. Now, is it just me, or is that like a story seed? Yeah, just a thought. Anyway, that's it for this week. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and share it with people who are also fascinated by some weird shit like haunted places, urban legends, conspiracy theories, serial killers, mythical creatures, ghosts, and other things that go bump in the night. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe and stay healthy, and if you do visit Jazirat Al Hamra, maybe don't go diving for pearls, just in case the jinn are hanging around, because they might just, slap you unconscious. Anyway, bye.